Hey, what's up guys? It's Chachionics with another video here. As you can see, I got a haircut and I shaved and everything, so it's a new look for me. Wanting to look good for the holidays, to spend time with my family and all that stuff. But that is not what this video is about, despite the new look. I wanted to make a video for UFC 269 tomorrow. It is December 10th. It is currently 4:34 p.m. The fights are tomorrow. Tomorrow's UFC 269. Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier for the World Lightweight Championship at 155 pounds. And then we also got, we'll go through the whole fight card and I'll give my predictions. I haven't really done much research into this one as I should have, but I did read a little bit on the Wikipedia. I don't know if it's going to give me a bunch of information, but I kind of like to do these raw and see how it goes. So the last prediction I made in the UFC was for Caitlyn Vieta versus Miesha Tate. I picked Caitlyn Vieta to win, and she did. So that was good. I don't have to talk about that one. I should have done an overview for that one, but like I did for the first fights card that I did on this channel, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do an overview. So tomorrow is UFC 269. Like I said, main event between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. That will be for the World Lightweight Championship at 155 pounds. Before I get into the predictions, I will mention that all the fighters for tomorrow made weight except for one fighter, one girl who will be to kick off the card. Well, we got the prelims, we got the early prelims, the prelims, and then we got the main card. The fighter who missed weight was Priscilla Cachoeira. She was supposed to come in at 125 pounds, and she came in at 129 pounds. So she could have come in at 126. There's a 1 pound not discrepancy, but there's a 1 pound leeway to make weight. So she came in 3 pounds overweight. So, but the fight will go on at a catch weight bout. So I'm gonna go here on the website, UFC website here. So yeah, tomorrow's gonna be really cool. Tomorrow's gonna be really fun. So I mean, let's give the overview. So I'm gonna go from the first to the last. From the first fight to the last fight. On the early prelims, we have Gillian Roberton versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Then we have Randy. That would be a catch weight bout at 129 pounds. Was supposed to be at a flyweight bout at 125 pounds. Then we have a bantamweight bout at 135 pounds between Randy Costa versus Tony Kelley. Then we have a featherweight bout at 145 pounds between Ryan Hall and Darrick Minner. Then we have a women's flyweight bout at 125 pounds between Miranda Maverick and Erin Blanchfield. Then we have a middleweight bout, a men's middleweight bout at 185 pounds between Andre Muniz versus Eric Anders. Then we move to the prelims. Before I continue on with the prelims, I'm giving Pacific Standard Time. So the early prelims will begin at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Here are the fights, the prelims, which will begin at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And those fights are as follows. We have a middleweight bout at 185 pounds between Jordan Wright versus Bruno Silva. We have a heavyweight bout, which is basically like 206 to 265. The max is 265 pounds between Augusto Sakai versus Tai Tuivasa. Then we have a bantamweight bout at 135 pounds between Pedro Muniz versus Dominick Cruz. Then we have a featherweight bout at 145 pounds between Josh Emmett versus Dan Ige. I think it's Ige. That will cap off the prelims. And then we move on to the main card, which will begin at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be Hollyon Paiva versus Sean O'Malley at a bantamweight at 135. Then we have flyweight. Then we have a flyweight bout at 125 pounds between Kai Kara France versus Cody Garbrandt. Then we have a welterweight bout at 170 pounds between Geoff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. And then these next two fights, in my opinion, are the two fights to look out for. These are the championship fights, which I think are going to be pretty fun. One, probably pure dominance, and the other, probably pretty close. So the fight that I think is going to be pretty dominant is the women's bantamweight bout between Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. I will tell you who I pick. So that fight, there will be dominance for one of these fighters. And if you follow the UFC, you know who I'm going to pick. Then we have a lightweight bout. That women's bantamweight bout is at 135 pounds. So the fighters have to come in at 135 or below. And Amanda Nunes came in at 135.5. Juliana Pena at 135. And then we have the lightweight championship bout, which will be the main event of the evening, between Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. Charles Oliveira came in at 155 pounds, and Dustin Poirier came in at 154.5 pounds. So let's go with the picks. Gillian Roberton versus Priscilla Cachoeira. I'm gonna pick Gillian Roberton. Randy Costa versus Tony Kelley. I'm going to pick Tony Kelley. Ryan Hall versus Darrick Minner. I'm going to pick Darrick Minner. Miranda Maverick versus Erin Blanchfield. I think this is going to be a good fight, actually. I really do think this is going to be a good women's flyweight bout. I'm going to pick Miranda Maverick. Andre Muniz versus Eric Anders. I like Eric Anders. You know, I really like him, but I'm going to pick Andre Muniz. Andre Muniz is the guy. So those are the early prelims at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now we move to the prelims, which will begin at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Jordan Wright versus Bruno Silva. Ooh. I'm going to pick... I like Jordan Wright. I don't know. A part of me wants to pick Jordan Wright, but I'm going to pick Bruno Silva. I think Bruno Silva is going to take it. Augusto Sakai versus Tai Tuivasa. I'm going to pick Tai Tuivasa. Pedro Munoz versus Dominick Cruz. I'm going to pick Dominick Cruz. Josh Emmett versus Dan Ige. I'm going to pick Dan Ige for that fight. So those are the early prelims, which begin at 5. Here's the main card, which begins at 7. Hollyon Paiva versus Sean O'Malley. I'm going to pick Sean O'Malley. Kai Kara France versus Cody Garbrandt. I'm going to pick... A part of me wants to pick Cody, but another part of me wants to pick Kai Kara France. I'm torn between this fight a little bit, but I'm going to pick... I'm going to pick Kai Kara France. I'm going to pick Kai Kara France here. Geoff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. I'm going to pick Geoff Neal. And then this is the women's bantamweight title bout. I'm picking Amanda Nunes to absolutely dominate Juliana Pena. I really don't see a path to victory for Juliana Pena in this fight. I'm picking Amanda Nunes here. And then Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. I'm gonna pick Dustin Poirier. We'll see what happens. I like Charles too. I picked against Charles the last time, and I was wrong. I picked Michael Chandler to beat Charles. I don't know if you can hear dogs, by the way. Something's going on. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry if you can hear that. So I'm picking Dustin Poirier to win the main event. So those are my picks for tomorrow's fights. I don't want to drag this on too long. Kind of don't want to be notorious for dragging on the ending. But these fights tomorrow for UFC 269 will be tomorrow, December 11th, 2021. It will be in the T-Mobile Arena in Paradise, Nevada, United States. I can leave the description. I can leave the information about these fights and everything that happened and whatever. So to recap, my picks were, if I can remember correctly, Gillian Roberton, Tony Kelley, Darrick Minner, Miranda Maverick, Andre Muniz, Bruno Silva, Tai Tuivasa, Dominick Cruz, Dan Ige, Sean O'Malley, Kai Kara France, just kidding, Geoff Neal, Amanda Nunes, and Dustin Poirier. Those are my selections. We'll see how I do tomorrow. Don't know how I'm gonna do. If I do bad, again, I'm a little competitive. But remember, all of this is in good fun. So if you want to predict with me, you can. So I hope you guys have a great day, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.